Max Holloway and Brian Ortega.
Brian Ortega e Max Holloway is so hard. Let me see. I think Ortega is a big surprise. Maybe he finished Max Holloway, but the Holloway very confident. Have a good, he's the champion. I 50-50.
That's a tough one, but I don't know, man. Ortega really impressed me the last fight. But I think I'll stick with Max Holloway, the champ. I think.
I'm gonna go with Holloway. He's just got such volume. Ortega's on a, I'd say Ortega's on a streak, but nobody's streak is better than Holloway's. So you can't really say that. It's just his output is so much more. He just keeps that pressure going. And with Ortega, he's got the knockout power, but he really is more of a jiu-jitsu guy. And Holloway does pretty well with fights like that.
About Max Holloway and Brian Ortega.
I'm going for my buddy Max. Brian Ortega is very tough, but got to hang out with Max Holloway a little bit, so got a pretty cool relationship with him. So I'm going for my buddy Max.
How do you think he'll get it done?
I don't know, man. Both guys are very crafty guys, good strikers. Obviously, you saw Ortega knock out Frankie Edgar. They're both similar in styles. I think he's a little bit better on the ground than Max, but Max has got that experience. Very tough guy, and the guy's always evolving. So I'm going for Max.
Ortega, probably I'm his biggest fan. I love him. I think he's one of the best fighters in the world. So I think Ortega.
I didn't see a lot of fights from Brian Ortega, so I don't know. I have to go with Holloway. He's an OG. He's a good fighter, so I think he will win. I don't know. I cannot really. 50-50.
The best is blessed. Me and Max Holloway, we shared the locker room for our first UFC wins. It was at the Tough finale, June 1st, 2012. So we had the winning locker room. Maybe we'll be in the same locker room on fight night on July 7th, but Max is a hell of a competitor. So is Brian T. City Ortega. Don't get me wrong. Brian T. City, his ground game is vaunted. That guy is dangerous. He's shown that he's got more than just a ground game. He knocked out Frankie Edgar, first guy to ever finish Frankie Edgar in the octagon. So, it's going to be a hell of a fight. I think that one's going to take fight of the night, but I'm going to have to go with blessed.
Max Holloway and Brian Ortega.
Ooh, that's a tough one. On the feet, Holloway's going to dominate the fight. But if Holloway gets too close, then I believe Brian Ortega will submit him pretty easily. Brian Ortega, man, he's next level. I've got great submissions, and I've got great ground game, and I don't want to go to the ground with that guy. So I believe that as long as Max Holloway keeps it on the feet, he's going to dominate the fight. But if it even gets close to the ground, if they even get in a clinch, then I believe that Brian Ortega is going to get the submission.
Holloway. I gotta go Holloway. Yeah.
Oh, and how?
How I KO head kick.
Yeah. And Max Holloway and Brian Ortega.
I think Max Holloway is gonna knock Brian Ortega out. Yeah, because Ortega is like he always in his fight. I like his fighting style. He's super entertaining, but it's like he always gets beat up the first round or something. First 1.5 round, and then he starts to get going, right? And you can't do that with Holloway.
I think Max Holloway has that one. I feel like he's probably going to be a better striker in that and be able to finish it.
Again, I love both guys, but Brian's my boy. We're both from the South Bay, so I'm going with Brian.
And why would you go for Brian?
I think overall skill set, they're pretty even, but I think the one factor that's going to be in is Brian's jiu-jitsu, and that guy gets a hold of you, obviously, like we've seen. That guy can take you out in a second, and I've trained with the guy, I've been around the guy, training with the guy, and I've seen him do some crazy stuff to guys that are even bigger than him. So that's what I'm going with.
Those are both my guys. I've trained Max Holloway down in Hawaii 2015. I was undefeated at the time. He was on a nice win streak. We both fought in Vegas. He fought on UFC 194. I fought Johnny Eduardo. And right before I hit the free agency period, and we had a good vibe. Max is a really cool dude, down to earth, and funny dude. And he's talented, man. He showed me a couple of things down there for my striking that I still use today. And Ortega's my guy too. I cut weight with that guy for the last 2 fights that were in California, UFC 214 and Fresno. We hang out whenever we see each other. He's a cool dude. I hate that fight. I love it, but I hate it at the same time. I'm just gonna sit back and watch. No prediction.